Hi there. Hey Merf. Welcome to Big Sexy Chat. So happy to be back. We were a little bit out of pocket a couple weeks ago because I got pneumonia. Weird. I know, no COVID, no flu, pneumonia. So I'm going to apologize up front to all of our listeners who are back to listen to more episodes, and to our new listeners. You might hear a little bit of wheeziness from me, and I apologize ahead of time.
It's
So,
like
go ahead.
story. The little guy that goes, the squeaker guy.
Yes.
We're just gonna do squeakers.
Yes, I'm squeaky. I'm like a minion. I can only make one sound. Minion, like that one minion. Hello, hello. Anyway, welcome to Big Sexy Chat. This is a passion project of Merf's and mine. Merf is my co-host, and we are talking about all things fat. We typically start each episode with some current events. Then we talk about our topic. This episode is going to be all about fat babe armor, the armor that we put on before we leave the house. Then we have a question from a listener, which is really interesting. And then, of course, at the end, we always do our vibe of the week. And we're going to talk about sex furniture for fat babes. So stay tuned for that. And at the very end, we're going to tell you about a drawing that we have for some sex furniture.
Ooh, giveaways. So
Merf, current events. What shall we talk about? I mean, there's like nothing in the news these days at all.
Oh, geez, Chrystal. I mean, I had to go searching for a topic today.
Right? I know. When I was sick with pneumonia, I was kind of like just sleeping for like a week. And I even asked my boyfriend, what did I eat last week? Cheerios. I was like, am I having a fever dream? Like, is this for real? Like, it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse.
Worse. And there's more to come. Like, just hearing what's on the docket and then what they're already thinking about. If you don't know what we're talking about, or say you're listening to this 3 years from now, we're talking about the Supreme Court and their decision to overturn Roe versus Wade.
I just can't believe that.
I don't even like saying it.
I know. I think they just want us to be pregnant and barefoot again, No rights.
Absolutely. Total control.
Are we still allowed to drive a car, Merf? I'm not sure.
I don't know. I have to ask my husband.
Yes, get his permission, please.
Yes. I need it in writing.
If I can't use my credit cards anymore, does that mean the debt is forgiven?
I believe so. I think you have to at least put them under your husband's name.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. I hate to laugh, but you have to laugh or you would just cry.
Yeah.
It's fucking insane.
It feels like the end of the world. I mean, it just like all of it, all the progress that we've made has just been stripped.
I know you know a lot more about this because this is your world with therapy kinds of things that you have to deal with. Excuse me 1 second. Sound like a bullfrog. But I know this is like your kind of area, this whole mental health stuff. But I know 4 people that have decided to have themselves put into a mental health facility just in the last like 2 months. I've never known anybody to go ahead and just check themselves in. Like, this is, the world is coming in and coming down on us. And for some people, it's dark for all of us, but for some people, they're having a harder time handling it.
Absolutely.
It's very scary.
I think so many people right now are relying on really bad coping skills because we're just trying to survive. It feels like there's very little hope. And what hope is available is I still need something to take the edge off of it because it just doesn't, it's not providing the relief I need.
You feel like people are abusing alcohol and drugs and things like that?
Absolutely.
Sex, food.
Leaning into anything that makes them feel good. And some of the things that make us feel good are not the best for us. And that means gambling. That means substance use, all kinds of things. It's a scary time. And I'm really concerned about the future now.
Me too.
Yeah. I mean, I joke with certain people of like, the next step is what, like a civil war,
I wonder some days.
But it sure as hell feels like that's what's brewing. And that's terrifying.
So Clarence Thomas, he's married to a white woman, correct?
Yes, he is a very conservative Republican white woman.
A grifter. Yes, I know all about her.
A maggot.
So, yeah, right. So is he going to help to reverse the Lovings Act and so that you can't have interracial marriages anymore?
Oh, absolutely not.
Not that one, just all the others.
No. That one actually pertains to something in his life that would impact him.
Right? He doesn't give a shit about anybody else.
I mean, Brett Kavanaugh is struggling with the fact that he's not even allowed the common decency of having some quiet at his home.
Right? Shh. Shouldn't have had all those damn kids.
I think you should have to hear the recording of the 10-year-old girl who has to go to Indiana and get an abortion and have to hear the entire story over and over again on a loop every fucking day, you piece of shit.
Right? Yeah, I know. No doubt. It's just so disgusting. And I don't think some people even have any idea. It's not just abortion, right? It's so many things.
So many.
It's just basic human rights.
Healthcare.
Right? Healthcare.
Yeah.
It's as basic as it gets. Like, people want to have IVF. People want to, I had a accidental pregnancy, and then I had a miscarriage. I had no idea any of this was going on. And then I was supposed to have a DNC, which is basically like an abortion. And if this would have happened, this year in a different state, I'd be so screwed.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to do anything about it. It was like called a molar pregnancy, like an ectopic pregnancy.
Right.
It's just fucking amazing to me.
Yeah, I have a very close friend who had a baby die, and it was, she was in her third trimester, and they were like, the only option is you have to have an abortion. Like, there's no other option unless you want to carry around a dead baby. And if you haven't heard Debbie Reynolds talk about that, go watch that clip, because that happened to her in the 60s. And wow, that's some compelling stuff.
Like, people think, oh, I'm just going to have a third trimester abortion just because. Like, nobody's having a fucking abortion in the third trimester unless something's dramatically wrong. Like, you've already had this idea of this baby in your home. You have names, you have things you've bought for them. Nobody's going, oh, this is so fun. You know what? Never mind. I changed my mind. I just want to have an abortion real quick. It's not like that. Why do they think it's like that? They don't use some fucking logic.
Yeah, I wish that was a possibility.
I know.
The delusion is just so rampant. There's no logic happening.
No, it's missing completely. One thing I do have some hope about is Ketanji Brown Jackson. She makes me very happy. I wish we could, I wish some of the dinosaurs would just die and we could replace them with people who have a concept of what people actually want, because most people are cool with abortion. Nobody's like, yay, abortion, but they're like, if you feel like you need it and it's part of your own body, you get to make the decision.
Exactly.
So we need more justices like Ketanji and like Justice Sotomayor that have a clue what's going on in America.
Right.
And not just their heads up their butt at their stupid evangelical churches or whatever the hell they're doing. It's so weird. Like, when I see those women on TV that are so happy that this got repealed, I'm like, my mind is blown. I'm like, oh, those are those one women. Like, you know how the second time Trump ran and 10 million more white women voted for him? That's them. I'm like, how can you be? And these people are like my contemporaries or younger, 30 years old. And they're like, oh, thank God, RoeVWade's been. I'm like, what happened to them? How did they get that way?
They're just ignorant. They're completely ignorant.
It's crazy. But yay, Ketanji.
Yes.
Did you know she was a public defender?
I did.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
What a badass.
That's somebody who's seen front lines,
She's seen it all. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. She's got a fantastic resume.
Yeah.
That's the caliber of person. I mean, I was looking, I think it was like USA Today or something. They made like a diagram of like how many people hit all these like major milestones. She's the only one out of everyone sitting on that court.
I used to have so much, just like complete respect. Whatever the Supreme Court said, I was like, I'm on board. Now I'm like, fuck you guys. It's all political now. It's not the same.
No.
I think if it was filled with people like Sotomayor and Ketanji, I think I could get back to that feeling again. Like, I trust y'all. You've done the research. You did I trust you. But now I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of bozos.
Oh, I'm done with all of it. I'm done with the Constitution. I'm done with the Supreme Court. Like, I'm done. Start over. Redo.
Yeah. Reboot. We need a new country. Thank goodness we live in the country of California.
Exactly. The rest of the room just like, did somebody unplug the country and plug it back in to see if that worked?
Let's reboot it. Yeah. When I was like in my rage and my fever dreams, I ran across this company that brings, they have a little van they made to like be able to give medical and chemical abortions in their vans. And they drive to the border states, like the border of Texas and stuff, where the people are just wackadoo, against abortion. They're going to report you to the local authorities so they can collect their $10,000. They're just going to I'm like, I have to give these people some money. I don't have a lot of extra money right now, but I'm like, $100. Fuck yeah. Capitalism pushed together with some crazy health craziness, and they created a product, and they're doing it.
Yep. That's awesome.
Bless them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody thought of that, I'm like, Jesus, but that's some commitment, that's
absolutely it is.
It's, the people that have the least are going to be affected the most. And that's what's so heartbreaking.
Absolutely. Well, and that's why you see so many, young white women that are doing this kind of shit because they've never had to think about something like that. They've never experienced that. Mm-hmm. And so they're just absolutely ignorant. Oh, that doesn't happen. Oh, that doesn't exist. Blah, blah, blah.
Right.
I once had a whole room filled of CPS workers, a judge, and probation officers. And they said, we don't have sex trafficking in this town. And I was like,
shut up.
I started laughing so hard. Like they, and I was in a professional meeting and I was just like, are you kidding? Was that a joke? And she was like, no, it's not a joke. And I was just like, yeah, you people exist and you're in positions of power. Holy shit.
I would say if you have a town that has more than like 50,000 people, maybe even less, there's going to be some sex trafficking going on. Probably every city and every town.
Absolutely.
What the hell? Duh.
And we live in a rural community. There's a lot of migrant families and people that come up here for farm work. Mm-hmm. And because it's very heavy agriculture, sure. I guarantee you people have been used as slaves.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
We had a serial killer here once that killed people that came up just to work in the... It's nuts.
Gross.
People just don't think it exists.
So stupid. Wow. Were you able to convince them?
No.
Mm.
No, I agreed to give them information to have a trainer come up and show them basically the evidence behind it. They were at least open to that, but yeah.
Okay. Wow. Yes. So yeah, no current events to talk about this week.
Right.
we could spend 5 hours talking about the shit that's going on in the world right now.
Absolutely.
I think so. Yeah.
Move on to
let's move on to the topic of the week, which is, I call it my fat girl armor, fat babe armor. Whatever you have to do, whatever you put on to walk out the door that might help you to not get fat shamed. For me, it's like performative femininity, right? Making sure I have my makeup on, making sure I have my hair done. I don't go out without my lipstick. I just don't. I don't go out dressed, like sloppy, air quotes, because I know people already think fat people are lazy, dirty, stinky, don't have good hygiene, sloppy and lazy and just undisciplined. And so it's a problem that I have this, like, even though I feel like I'm a fat activist and I'm a feminist and I believe that fuck you. If you don't like what you're looking at, look elsewhere. But I always put it all on before I walk out the door. And I can't let it go. Do you feel like you do that, Merf?
I do, but not about the way I look. So I will go out with no makeup on, hair up in a bun, that sort of thing. Just messy looking. And I have no problem with that. I have to go out smelling good, and I have to go out really feeling like I'm super polite. So when I engage with people, I'm breaking that stereotype of like fat people don't smell good, So I'm always like super fresh, super clean, like everything smells perfectly. And I'm always initially very polite and smiley. So that I look approachable and I'm not scary. And I've been told so many times, you're intimidating looking. No, I'm just very large, and that seems, different from you.
Right.
But those are my two big things.
Yeah, I think I do that as well. Overly polite in the beginning, but don't fuck with me, because then it's on.
Oh, absolutely. The second it's all done. The facade is dropped. Yeah.
Yes, I know a lot of people do it, and they wish they didn't, right? Because then I feel like it's not a good thing to do. I don't think, like, I should be able to go out as sloppy as I want to. If other people don't worry about how they look when they go out the door, I should have that. But it's one of those things I have a hard time letting go of. I know it's just training from when I was a kid. My mom liked to send us out looking cute. It wasn't fat then, but so it was like we're a family of people that always put our makeup on and our hair on and our lipstick on. We just all do that in my family. But I know I take it to a different level than they all do because they're not fat. And I feel like if I'm out somewhere, I'm already going to be othered right away because I'll probably usually be the largest person in the room. And, people stare sometimes, of course, especially if you're eating fucking food, which we all need. No matter how fat you are, you still have to have food that day. But I feel like if I dress nice and I look good and I look professional and I look approachable and I look smiley, maybe they won't be so judgmental. But I mean, even when I do all that stuff, I still get, Jesus, you're fat, or whatever people say to me.
Oh, yeah.
One time this guy said to me, you are so fucking fat. At the post office, it was like a Christmas time. I was mailing like Kixies out because people were ordering tons of them. And he said it really quietly as he walked by, and I could hear it. And then I just turned around and I said, did you just call me fat? Really loudly. I don't know where it came from. It just came out. And then everybody in the post office, and it was like 10 o'clock at night, and everybody's trying to get their shit out the door. And they all turned and looked, and he ran out the door like a little cockroach. It was so cool. So even when I'm looking all cute and stuff, I still get fat shamed. So why not just go out all sloppy? You're going to get fat shamed anyway.
Well, it's like you said, you have that ingrained from childhood. Like this is the process. This is the, the extra that we put on to present our best selves.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So people don't judge you, right? That you look sloppy or unkempt, whatever that word is.
Yeah. No, that's the right word.
A lot of fatties do it because they are just waiting for somebody to say something, just like, pow, you have your armor on, you're ready to just go to battle. It feels like a betrayal, though, of my fat activism and my fat feminism and I don't know. I feel like I wish I could get over that one a little bit. I have gotten a little bit over it, but not as much as I need to, probably.
I think that's all growth, right? Like we still have bad body days. We still have little things that we do as protection from things that, we've experienced in life. And that's okay. Growth is recognizing you're going to have ups and downs with learning about how to like your body. And you're going to have ups and downs about how not to be, how to be inclusive, how to not, say the wrong thing. You're going to have moments of that. And it's all a growth learning process. You can't be hard on yourself while you're learning.
Yeah, for sure. It was interesting because I did have this conversation on my Curvy Girl page and on my Fat Brunch page, and everybody had a lot to say about it. Sorry, my voice. Excuse me 1 second.
Sure.
On my fat brunch page, I asked the question, do you all go out? Do you put your fat babe armor on? And a couple people answered, and one of the women, I believe she may be non-binary. I don't know for sure. I'm sorry if I'm misgendering her, but she was also talking about being Black and having to look respectable, air quotes, when you go out so that you don't get, maybe you get less racist hate than you do if you go out looking like the woman I saw at the grocery store in her robe and her pajamas and her slippers. And I was like, fuck, if I showed up in my robe and slippers and my pajamas as a fat human, holy shit, but she's thin, and with her thin boyfriend, they're both in their jammies and their robes. And the first thing I thought of was like, oh no, you can't do that when you're fat.
Yeah.
Hell
That's
no.
privilege.
Total privilege. And then, like that person I told you about on Fat Brunch, she got me thinking about how it must be for women of color, people of color. You have to also have this extra layer of armor on all the time.
And people who express their gender, that's got to be a whole next level of armor needed.
Sucks.
Because especially depending on where you live,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you think about, it's kind of convoluted and kind of gets messy, but even people that are, hidden, like an evangelist that's actually gay, and and they're just like, I've got to have this armor of, I'm this staunch, conservative, blah blah blah. It's still a type of it, and we do it for all different types of reasons.
Right. Yeah, true.
And I think being fat is, you can't go anywhere in society and not have that be an issue.
True. Yep. Unless you're with your fat community.
Yes.
Which is I love.
And I think, one of the things too is like, I will be, I'll be hard on myself for certain like types of dress or like certain types of things. Like, I don't like to go out in shorts. I've never been a wear shorts person just because of experiences I've had as a kid. And I don't like wearing tank tops, and I'll still do it every once in a while, but it's just not my preferred. I don't feel comfortable in that because of situations like that. So my big girl armor is to just not wear it.
Right. Me too. Yeah. I rarely go out with sleeves with a sleeveless shirt, and I don't really have very fat arms, but I just feel like it looks weird to me. I rarely go out without a shirt with sleeves on it. I just need even a little cap sleeve. And I don't have very fat arms. Definitely other parts of my body are fatter, but I still feel very self-conscious to go out sleeveless or in a tank top, like you said.
Yeah.
Shorts, no way. I don't mind going out in a dress, but it has to be a little bit past my knees.
Mm-hmm.
Then I feel more comfortable. And, I don't know why. Why do I feel the need to perform femininity, though? Why do I need to be...
I think that this is like, this episode could get so deep on so many.
I know. Yeah.
I think that we do that kind of as a performative thing for the patriarchy. If you're more approachable, you're you seem like you're more engaged, or you're interested, and so this hyper feminine response is to appease and get what we want. I mean, we've really been trained that the cuter and sweeter you are, the more you get what you want.
So angelic.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. People see that and they think, I know I do for sure. I look at a person and I try really hard not to do the up and down. I wish we could all get out of that. Every time it's done to me, I feel like such a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like, why am I just some piece of meat that you're just looking at up and down? But then when I see someone who's got a little bit of makeup on, and I don't know, it just seems like they're kind of more at a level. What's the right word? But like, yeah, they want to be engaged. When maybe they will be polite if I speak to them. And I know it's just all fucking brainwashing.
Right.
Programming, conditioning that I've received as a child and as an adult, and so all day, every day, right? All the media, everything is
constantly.
Yeah. I'd be interested if people have something to share with us about their fat babe armor. I'd love to hear from you. Our email is sexy at big chat. Wait. Say it for me, Merf.
See at BigSexyChat.com.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Still a little foggy.
It's okay. I was thinking of what Sydney said in our polyamory episode. You know, she mentioned the red nails and the pearls and, you know, having to have that as a feeling of like, I'm set, I'm ready. You know, that's how I go out. And that's exactly that kind of armor issue.
Also, a lot of people don't see fat people as sexual beings.
Right.
They think we don't have sex. We're too fat to have sex.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Because, like, I don't know if I just know a lot of horny people, but all the fat girls I know have a lot of sex. So, I don't know, but we're just hornier people. But I have a lot of sex, but I know people think that fat people, that we're just not, I don't know, we're just having bonbons, whatever the hell they think we eat. And, like, first of all, where there's a will, there's a way. And if you've ever had sex with another fat person, it's interesting. It's really fun, but you have to kind of, you know, tweak things. Mm-hmm. But I know, like, for me, it's important to me for some reason that people understand. I'm a very feminine person. I'm kind of a girly girl. I'm very sexual. I like a lot of sex. I don't necessarily like a lot of partners, but, you know, whatever. Maybe one day I will. I don't judge, though. If people like to have a lot of partners, go for it. As long as everybody's safe, everybody's consenting. But yeah, I guess I want people to think I'm a sexual being. I like to say, I like to kind of I like to be like a throw fuck you in their face. Like, yeah, I'm fat and I have sex, a lot of it.
Yeah.
And I eat food and I love cupcakes, and fuck you if you don't like any of that, you know? So I guess in a way it's me kind of like saying fuck you, but also I know I need to let go of a little bit of it more, you know, and be more comfortable in my own skin and not worry about the performance so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something I gotta work on.
It's a slow, you know, just practice. It's a slow practice. And the more you keep doing it, the better you get at recognizing it and changing it.
Absolutely.
I'm the same way. I mean, I've been trying to work on just really not being critical of the things that I know are like super chubby on me. And one of the things you were talking about arms. So I have the little crease in my bicep on one arm, on my left arm. And I worked with a lady right when I first like got out of college, and she was like, oh my God, it was the most ridiculous thing, but it just like triggered for me. So I got to share this story.
Sure, please.
She was this young East Indian girl, and we worked with this other lady who was also a super fat. And I wasn't a super fat then. I was fat, but I wasn't super fat, and like I am now. And the young East Indian girl looked over at me and she said, you know, it's great that you're like fat, but you're not like that fat where you have the crease in your arm fat. And I was just like, oh, so there's an acceptable level of fatness, you know, that you're willing to be around. Okay. And I was like maybe 180, 200, 200 then. Yeah. And I have that crease in my arm now. And when I first started to notice it, I was like, fuck her. And then it's in the back of my brain. When I was saying like, fuck her, I was still like, but Meredith or Merf, you know, you've got that fat now, like kind of like that, ooh, you know, that little voice that just digs at you.
Yeah.
Man. Fat girl armor. I cover my arm. My shirt's like, you know, like it's a tough.
Yes, I love the 3/4 link. 3/4 link the best.
Makes the biggest difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that stuff where those little things to cover up those insecurities.
We value those rolls and creases and stuff in babies. How come we don't value them in adults?
And it's so soft. Like I should love it. And
squishy.
I'm getting to that point where I'm like, it's okay. This is good. Like I call it my little butt arm now. Like I'll always like, look, it's my arm.
It's funny.
But it's hard to get to that point where you start to find things that you appreciate about it.
It does piss me off when people have this certain level of fatness. Once you get past a certain level, you're no longer acceptable. But like, that's really disgusting. Like, people who are infinifats or immobile or have disabilities, they're still fucking humans. They still deserve respect and dignity. And why? Why is there, first of all, why do people have so much disdain for fat people? Why do they have levels? It's like they're ruder to people who are bigger.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I don't know, man. People are fucked up.
I'm telling you, I feel like we could sing Macklemore lyrics like, there is layers to this shit, player. Tiramisu. Like, there's so much stuff that we get into really deep topics about with this, but it's just, yeah, it's the things that those little nuanced things that we do to protect ourselves because we've been in situations where we didn't feel safe.
Yeah, exactly.
Or we got hurt.
We got hurt, yes. And we feel safer if we feel like we are putting on a better presentation, I guess, outwardly. Maybe we won't get that hate, you know? I'm just a fucking person just like you. You know, no different.
Just trying to shop in the grocery store, man.
I mean, just trying to get my fucking sustenance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't need you looking over at my cart, making judgments or assuming that, yeah.
Oh, I love when they do that. Yeah. I'm like, I look down at them. Hi, I see you.
Right.
My partner, he eats like a toddler. So when I do shop for him, for us, it looks nuts. Like we might have 10 kids at home. And I'm like, just me and him. He wants his gummy bears. He wants his Haagen-Dazs ice cream. And he's thin, of course. And he wants all of his sugar. He always says his favorite food group is high fructose corn syrup with a side of high fructose corn syrup. And he's kind of telling the truth. He drinks like Coca-Colas and 7-Ups, like full sugar. And he just operates on all day long. It's like his energy. And oh my God, I don't know how he's not bigger, but he's just like me. I have a certain genetic type of body. He has certain genetics that keeps him looking that way.
Right.
But it's wild when you see the calories. You're like, 5,000 calories in a day is no big deal to him. Just like, bam, all sugar.
Burning it.
My brain would hurt so bad though when I eat that much sugar. I mean, I love sugar, but I know I have to balance it out. Otherwise my brain hurts.
Oh, absolutely. Jittery.
Yeah. But when people look at my shopping cart, I'm just like, oh my God, it's hilarious. Right. He likes double stuffed golden graham Oreos, and I get like 6 of them at a time. So they're all, it just looks like, and I'm like, they're all for me. That's right. I'm just fat. That's how I got fat. I'm just going to keep eating all this stuff. That's all. It's like you
should open one and eat it while you're walking.
I should. You know, Tigress Osborne and Saucy West, when I had my boutique, I was taking pictures and stuff, and I go, oh, they were like both eating their little nothing bun cakes, and I was like, I won't take it while you're eating. They go, no, we don't care. I was like, oh my God.
Right.
Wait, I don't have to care if people take a picture of me while I'm eating food? And Tiger's like, no, come on. I'm like, okay. And they're like, they're eating their little nothing bun cakes. That's so good. I was like, fuck yeah, that's how it's done. I don't give a shit.
No, I'm going to enjoy this bundt cake. That's what I'm going to do.
Everybody enjoys those little bundt cakes. But they didn't mind me photographing them eating food. And they're both fat women, you know? And they were just like, fuck it. Who cares?
Right. Like, I know people that won't eat in public because they don't want to. Yeah, it's awful.
I go out to eat alone all the time, and people are like blown away by me. And I'm like, you've never gone out to eat alone? Some of my friends have never done it in their whole life.
Yeah.
I do it all the time. I don't care.
Right.
I'll have dessert alone. I don't know. I don't give a shit. I like to piss people off sometimes, you know, with the outside of the sort of the norms that they expect.
Absolutely.
Fuck you in their face kind of thing. You know?
Yep.
Trying to, right. Totally. So let's talk about our listener questions.
Oh, yes.
We have a good one this.
We do. So the question is all around, I'm interested in fantasy that involves non-consent, but it makes me feel icky. What's going on? What's wrong with me?
Consensual non-consent, right?
Yes. So one of the things that we need to talk about when it comes to this, and we get kind of in the therapy realm here, so join along and jump in. When an individual has a fantasy revolving around some sort of non-consent, the majority of the time, not saying all of the time, but the majority of the time, it's often women. It used to be the number one fantasy that women would have sexually. But I think it gets taken out of context quite easily. So rarely would it have that explanation behind the actual fantasy. It was just, oh, women like the idea of non-consent. No, that's not accurate. So when we're talking about consensual non-consent, we're talking about really being just animalistic desired to somebody and needing to have, I have to have you now. I have to, like this has to happen in this instant. I can't ask for consent because it's just so like you're incredible. Well, in those thoughts and fantasies that people have regarding this, almost always they're consenting to that situation. They want that feeling. They want the feeling of, I have to have you now, and the stuff's thrown off the desk and you're pushed onto, that's the fantasy is I'm giving up this control and I'm also trusting the person I'm giving up the control to, but it's so animalistic and I'm so desired in the moment right now that it's not a topic of consent. It's just implied.
It's a heavy one.
Yeah.
I do get the whole, like, I just have to have you now. Like, that is very hot. I've had those experiences with my partner where it's like, you're in like the mud room or the laundry room, whatever. He's like, I just have to have you now. And that's very intoxicating. It's an intoxicating feeling to feel like someone desires you so much, they just have to have you right this second. But that's within the confines of my relationship. I trust him. And I think, yeah, that's hot. But then, like, if I didn't know him, that was scary as shit to me, right? Like, that's, whoa. But tell me, what do you think about this, Merf? In our culture in America, women, I'm just going to say this. I know people are going to piss people off, but women are pretty much running the show at home, right? Even if we don't have kids, we're still probably doing most of the emotional labor, mailing the thank you cards and the birthday gifts and the anniversary gifts and making sure, I still get the feeling, even with all the progress we've made in the world, I have a feeling women are doing still most of the work. What do you think?
Yes, absolutely.
So maybe it's a thing where they're like, fuck, I just want to give up control for an hour or two, Please take me out of this world for an hour and just ravish my body.
That's 1000% it.
You think so?
That is that it when asked follow-up questions, and there were some surveys that they did do follow-up questions, the people who said those kind of fantasies, when they encourage like more discussion about the situation, it always was, I want it to be somebody I know and I'm just giving up, like to be ravaged.
Yes.
Was never this thought of like, oh, this rando person's coming in and sexually assaulting me.
Hell no.
That's not the fantasy. The fantasy is having that dominance, but in a way that is consensual. It's just not stated outright. It's this immediacy of, I've just overblown with desire for you. I've got to take care of it right now.
I like immediacy and animalistic, right? Those are the two things that kind of resonate in my brain. It's like, yeah, that's very animalistic when they're just like, it's not, I feel like that way about him sometimes too. I just like, I want you now, and that's hot. Oh, yeah. But I don't want to be a stranger, and I don't want to be violent. That's parts.
Right. No. And the majority of the people, that was their fun, was the fantasy of it being somebody that they felt safe with and not it being some random scary situation.
Yeah, no.
There's nothing sexy about that. And
no, not at all.
And I get her feeling of, I feel icky because of what you just stated, when the listener's writing in saying, I like the idea of this, but it feels icky. It's because non-consent should feel icky.
Yes, it should.
we're not talking about non-consent. We're talking about consensual non-consent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's fun to play with the power exchange too, you know.
Oh, absolutely.
To give up the power or take the power in your bedroom.
Yeah. Well, it's like when we talk to Mistress J, you know, everybody's got to have some kind of release. And for some folks, that's exactly what it is. It's I'm giving over control in a very safe environment.
I always think it's very fun to play submissive in the bedroom for all those reasons I mentioned earlier, which is like, I am kind of a person I'm a strong personality, right? I'm a large personality. I like to be in control of my stuff. I'm very like decision maker. It's so nice to just have like an hour where I'm just like, oh, that's gone. It's off the table. Now all I can do is just enjoy this right now. It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely. It's like that Elysium, you know, like you're tuning everything out. You're just in whatever mode you want to be in, and you're centered in it.
In that moment.
That feeling of total relaxation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I hope she finds her way and figures out what's going to be good for her.
Yeah. And I would say, you know, are you exploring this in a very positive way, like with your partner, and talking about, you know, I want to feel super desired? Because that would be the greatest way to talk about having the fantasy played out, you know, is give me a little bit of context to that, babe, and tell me a little bit more, and would you like me to put you against the wall, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, like we always say, right? Communication is lubrication.
Absolutely.
The more you talk about the things. Is that coming from my house? Those sounds? Do you hear all that?
I heard a clunk clunk.
Hopefully she figures some fun out and communicates with her partner and can figure out what she wants and do so it doesn't feel icky.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that.
Right. No, I had a friend who had a partner who they agreed, you know, I'm going to come through the window and I'm going to, but it's going to be me, you know, and all this kind of thing. And so they had this whole role play fantasy that he got locked out, and she was scared. And then she realized it was him. And, you know, then it was like, ooh, I can't wait to have you now because you're like, it seems so taboo. And, you know, and they had fun with it. And she was telling, like, it really felt like, you know, danger, but safe, you know, like.
Yes, I like this. Contained. That's fun. People are so imaginative. I find it so fascinating to hear what gets them off and the things that they think of. I'm like, I never would have thought of that. I love that.
Totally agree. Love it.
I heard a story once, I don't know how true it was, but where this couple wanted to play like he was going to be like Superman or Batman or something like that. And then he had her tied up to the bed, and then he jumped off of something. And as he jumped off something, he knocked himself out. And then she's tied up to the bed. So she couldn't get out, and he was knocked out. And then she was like yelling, and the neighbors had to come over and let themselves in. And she's naked, spread on the bed. I can't confirm that actually happened, but I've heard it. I heard it from this woman at a pleasure party, and I was like, holy shit. Note to self, don't ever jump off of anything in your bedroom, okay? Because you might knock yourself out.
Shit.
I know. And the neighbor's like, are you okay? She's like, no, come help me.
Oh my God.
And he's like in his Batman costume.
That had to be so awesome to walk in on, though, as the neighbor. Like, that's a cocktail story right there.
Dude,
like
forever, yes. So hilarious.
Oh, that's great.
So while we're on the topic of sex and role play and all that fun stuff, let's talk about our vibe of the week.
Vibe of the week.
Oh, we never said hot topics.
Yeah, I said it.
You did? Did I talk over you when you said it?
Yeah, but Ashley can use it or not or whatever.
Because I love hot topics. We need something for good vibe of the week, Merf.
That's right. We do. We need a little theme song or something. Jingle.
Maybe it could just be the sound of a toy buzzing.
Oh, I like that.
All right.
So we're talking
Go ahead.
Sex furniture?
What'd you say?
I said we're talking sex furniture?
Sex furniture for fat babes, yes.
Yes.
There's so much out there, and a lot of it's crap, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
I know you and I are both are connoisseurs of the Liberator products.
Yes.
And I love them. I love mine.
Love them. Tell me what do you have?
I have the little Jazz, which I love a lot. It's smaller than my butt, but however, not butt, but it's that high density foam, so it holds up to my butt. It's really nice, and it's kind of more like travel size. So it's like, it reminds me of those desks that we used to have when we were kids, and where the desk would lift up. It was like kind of like that size, and so it's nice for travel, and you can just have it on your bed. It doesn't look like sex furniture necessarily, but it's good for all kinds of different things. I have a wedge. I have 3 of their sex blankets, which I love their throws. Their throws are the best. We have a ramp. I don't have any of the red label stuff yet, but I'd like to try some of that for the plus size body. But all their other stuff works for me. And I wear like a size 28, 30 pants. So I have a large downstairs. My butt and hips and stomach are where most of my weight is, and they work great for me. What do you have?
I have the plus size black label ramp and wedge, and I found out that they don't sell the same version anymore, but I have the black label, the plus size black label stage. So it's like a big rectangle, and then you set up the ramp and the wedge on it so that it kind of becomes like their the ones that are scooped now. I don't know what they're called. I think they call them like an eclipse or something like that.
Yeah.
And then we have I have the Access toy mount, so you can put your magic wand
I
in
want
it.
one of those desperately.
That it's pretty good. I get a little like, I don't know, like it doesn't always work well in terms of the right fit at your like crotch level. You have to have some pillows underneath you to like get it to exactly hit where you want.
Sure.
Which is not terrible, but it is a process. And then we got my husband the fleshlight on a mission. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
So it's like the toy mount one, but you put the fleshlight in it. And it's pretty cool. He said he'd give it a 10.
Oh, okay, and good.
You don't have to put anything between mattresses anymore. You can put your fleshlight in there. I said, God, they're so easy to please.
I know. Oh yeah, we should get that one because I love those fleshlights. I think they're so fun. They're so cool.
They
Especially
are.
I love the clear. The clear one is really beautiful. I'm like, oh, I love that.
Yeah,
but it's not made by Liberator. But it's not sex furniture. But it works with the Liberator furniture.
Right. Yeah, I've been really pleased with Liberator. So those who don't know, Liberator is a sex toy furniture company. They have a lot of things that they sell, and they sell cushioned furniture. Like they're most popular for known for their cushioned furniture pieces, and the ramp and the wedge is exactly like what you think it is. Like they're little pillows that you can insert into the bedroom or wherever you are, to make the right angle work. So they have plus size versions, which have just a little bit more extra
a little wider, right?
And they're a little bit wider, and then they have dominatrix, all the BDSM type stuff. They have all kinds of things for that. They have sex slings and swings, and but the neat thing is that they really do make stuff that is specific for plus size folks.
Yes, and I don't even have any of the stuff that's specific for plus size folks, but they all work great for me. And like I said, I have a heavy middle, and it holds up always. And the Jazz. So first of all, we're going to give away our giveaway. We have to get a drum roll here. We're going to do a giveaway for the Jazz, and it's lovely because you can travel with it if you want to, but you can use all kinds of different ways. You can kind of put it under your tummy for doggy style. You can put it under your butt for sex or for oral sex. And you can both use it for that if you want to get, you kind of get out of the angle. For me, I love everything. You can take the covers off and throw them in the washer and the dryer. They never shrink. If you get lube or anything else on it, no big deal. You take it out, put it in the washer and dryer, put it back on the pillow. It fits perfectly every time. Yep. It's like this micro suede kind of feeling.
Mm-hmm.
The throws are wonderful. I keep a throw in my living room, my bedroom, everywhere, because if you decide to have sex, all of a sudden you have something that's going to capture all the lube and all the other stuff, so it doesn't ruin your furniture, doesn't make for a wet spot on your bed, and you throw it in the washer and the dryer. It never shrinks. It just comes out. I've had one of them for 10 years. It's still like it's brand new. They make a really good quality products. I love them.
Really good quality products.
High quality, yeah. And the zippers are easy to use. I'm sorry, Merf.
Yeah. The zippers are great. They're it's industrial type stuff, but it doesn't look or feel that way.
No, great stuff, great products, and great for larger bodies. Because sometimes I know especially if you are two larger people together, sometimes you have to kind of tweak some things to make things work. Sometimes if one or both of you have a larger belly, things can kind of, you have to be creative. Like I always say, where there's a will, there's a way. You're going to make it happen. Fat people have sex all the time. People, if you're listening to this show and you didn't know this, fat people have a lot of sex. We might have to tweak some positions, but we make it happen. No matter what, we always make it happen. And there's 1,000,001 things you can do to that, not just penis and vagina. Like there's some zillion million things. And when you're horny, you get creative.
Right. Well, I'm glad you mentioned that you can use them for oral sex too, because I know that people will be like, "Oh, my neck," or yeah, it makes a big difference.
So if you put your butt like where the if you're like for me, if you're female and you put your butt on it so that the thicker part of the ramp is underneath your butt, then that lifts you up if they're giving you oral, so their chin and their neck don't get all wonky. So
yeah,
you can do anything you want with them, and you can just keep them in your living room and use them as a pillow.
Yeah, they're great for if you had heartburn and you need a little wedge to lean up against so that you're sleeping upright or
Yep.
Watch TV. You could put it up.
I wish I had one right now where I'm sitting because I want to be closer to the microphone, but I keep slumping back. Yeah, they're so much fun. They're just so much fun to have around. And a lot of people have bad backs and stuff too. They find that helps them. Have bad hips. There's a million ways. Sometimes when you have sex on the bed, the bed sinks so much, especially if you have two people in there and one or both of them are extra heavy. So it's like, you can't really move anywhere. You're kind of like stuck. So if you have those furniture pieces and like the stage, like you said, you're not in the bed. It's not going to all sink down in the middle. You're not going to be like, you can't get out. I'm like turtling, help me out. Because after a while, your bed starts to get stuck in that position. So you throw this on the floor and you can have sex in your living room or on your couch, your coffee table.
So true. I've been in those turtle situations where I'm like throwing my hand out like,
help me up, babe. So if people want to enter the drawing, first of all, you're going to have really good odds. We're using our newsletter database. We have about 600 people in that database right now, so it's fairly small. If you want to enter into the contest, just go to our website, BigSexyChat.com, and a little bit halfway down the screen, there's a place to enter your email and your name. That alone will get you an entry into the drawing.
And we are giving away just again a Liberator Jazz. Is that it? Jazz?
That's Jazz Pillow, yeah.
Jazz Pillow. Okay. So
I sell them on Bliss Connection for about $100.
Nice.
And so it's $100 value. And then we're going to also say if you comment on our Facebook page or on our Instagram, you'll get an additional entry. So we'll put all of them there. Yeah, so you might be able to have, 3 entries into this particular contest. And we're going to do the giveaway with the randomizer on July 31st. So be sure to check out our website and go enter your address. I only send like 2 newsletters a month. If there's something really good going on, I might send a third one. But I'm not going to be like Macy's. You're not going to get an email every day from us. It takes a lot of time and work to do them. So the most you're going to get is like 2 a month from us. And you can always unsubscribe. But don't unsubscribe because we send out little reminders when we have a new episode out. We want to let you know, okay, we have a new one, come and listen. So that's where the newsletter helps us. And then whenever we have any special things going on, or we need a new guest, or we have questions for you, that's how we use our newsletter. So easy peasy. And a $100 value of a really fun sex toy that you can travel with.
Right?
Yes, they make great stuff. I love all of their things. I want to own them all.
Oh, me too. I found so many things when I was looking for the Black Label again.
Yeah.
I was, oh, hey, I don't have that.
I know.
Oh, I don't have that. Oh, that looks good. They have a spreader bar.
I saw that. Cushion, yeah. I know. That's one of the things that appealed to me too. I was like, ooh, what's that?
Yeah.
They think of everything. Yes.
I might have to get some new stuff.
I know. Hey, got to keep it fresh. Got to keep it fresh.
Right. And if they wanted to look on your website and order one because it didn't end up being the winner of the giveaway,
yep,
where would they go?
Just go to blissconnection.com and then you can just search on Jazz. It's just Jaz. Or you can search on Liberator. I sell about 6 or 7 of their products. I'm going to try to get a few more on there. And they're just, everything they make is wonderful. And they hold up to fat bodies. That's another reason why I love them. But also, even if you're not fat, they make great products. It's just good shit. If you like to be a little more adventuresome in the bedroom. I mean, when you have sex with the same person for like 10, 15, 20, 30 years, you got to find some new stuff every once in a while. Right?
Absolutely. You got to do stuff to every once in a while change it up.
Change it up a little. Well, humans are so like habitual, right? We love our routines. You know, it's like, okay, oral, doggy style, done. You know, you get into these little, we all have our little dance that we do, right? And then you kind of, it's lovely, but also sometimes tedious. So you have to try to find other ways to kind of just get out of that routine. Even though it works, it works well,
It works grand, but sometimes you want to be shoved against a wall.
You do. Consensually.
Consensually. Absolutely.
Enthusiastic consent for everything. Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Anything else we should bring up this week, Merf? We're going to do another episode in 2 weeks. Well, we've had some really good, the last one we did was the hysterectomy one. I know it's not very sexy, but it seems to be helping a few people. So that's kind of nice to hear that people are getting something out of that one.
That's what we wanted.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not very sexy, but it was just a really good episode. But I
would love it if people would let us know like their favorite creators and just things like that folks in the fat community that they'd love to hear from.
Sure.
So that we could start building another list of folks to bring on the show and interview and talk about fat sex.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We're trying to keep it sexy, but every once in a while, the current events stuff just...
It's the times we're living in. There's no getting away. I mean, we're all probably disassociating at some level right now.
We're trying.
I think this is all a part of
life.
How you get to feel sexy. You have to feel like you have ownership of yourself and your life and that you're safe to really enjoy sex. And it can't be this feeling of, I'm going to get pregnant and I'm going to get screwed because I live in a state that thinks that, 10-year-olds should be forced to give birth. That's
safe. Safe sex is always the hottest sex. When you feel safe, and also when you feel safe that if something bad goes wrong, you can take care of your own body, have agency over your own being.
Yep. That
feels safer to me when you can do it that way. But we'll
Absolutely.
get it back. I'm sure it's just going to take us a while.
Yeah. We won't stop till it does.
That's right. Won't stop. Never going to stop. I don't care. I don't even have a uterus anymore. I don't give a shit. I just don't think it's okay to tell me what to do with my body. So anyway, Merf, do you want to tell everybody where they can find us and how they can find us and all that fun stuff?
Yeah, you can find us at BigSexyChat Pod on Twitter and at BigSexyChat on Instagram and Facebook. You can find us at 2 Rad Fatties on TikTok. We have a fantastic young, gorgeous, chubby babe named Katie who's helping us out with these fun TikToks.
Love it.
And Yeah, you can find me at Murphy Girl Adventures on Twitter and Murphy Girl Adventures. No, Murphy Girl. Mess that one. I think it's Murphy Girl's Adventures on Instagram and just Murphy Girl on Twitter.
Very cool. On Twitter. What'd you say?
I said, and where can they find you, Chrystal?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. Bliss Connection on Twitter. Instagram, mostly our BigSexyChat. And my website where I sell the sex toys and all the sex furniture is blissconnection.com. And on Facebook, it's just facebook.com/Chrystal Bougon. I'm easy to find. I'm everywhere. It's crazy.
Tell them about your Facebook communities too, so they can join.
Mm-hmm. We have a fat community. It's called Fat Community, and it's just where we do events, or usually about once every 2 months, we do a talk about different fat topics with speakers from the fat community. So that's a lot of fun. So just fatcommunities.com and fat community on all the other social media sites. So, and don't forget, it's so helpful if you guys write us reviews on Apple or even on our own website. It's so important for podcasts to have that little boost of we love hearing from you too, because we get the best reviews and we get the best emails. It's so gratifying.
It really is. And please share, comment. That gets our name out there. Yeah. And if you don't do any of that on social media or whatever, tell your friends about this podcast so that they can go out and download it. That would help us too.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, thanks, Merf. Great episode. I'll see you later, alligator.
After a while, crocodile.